Girl looks inside the abandoned box her dad found on the roadside and couldn't hold back her tears. There was a heavy snowfall the night before that chilled winter morning. Dark clouds were still preventing the sun rays from reaching the surface, which was covered in a blanket of snow. As the roads towards the center circle of the city were blocked, hence the schools were declared closed for that day. A man was taking his kids out for a ride when they noticed a strange thing covered in snow, a box on the roadside. As they approached the box, it became clear it wasn't just an empty one. The kids ran behind their father and took pictures of what was left inside the box, which later took social media by surprise. It was an extremely cold day and most families were enjoying their winter holidays. No one was willing to go out of their houses unless it was for something urgent. It was a day when a couple gave up to one of their daughter's requests. She wanted to make her holiday interesting, and for that she suggested they should go out to grab breakfast. Their daughter insisted on having breakfast at her favorite restaurant instead of her regular milk and cereal. Though she wanted both her mother and father to join her for breakfast, her mother had a lot of chores to deal with. Her father was the only one left who could take her to her favorite restaurant that was located in the next street. So what looked like an ordinary holiday turned out to be an unplanned father-daughter date. To see her daughter happy is every father's wish, and this duo was enjoying their time together. After paying the bill, the father started to drive towards home when the daughter made another request. She didn't want to go straight home. Well, she wanted to go for a long drive with her dad as she knew she'd get bored anyways for the rest of the day at home. She gave it her best shot and as expected, her father melted just by looking at her cute eyes, unaware of what they were soon going to encounter. Plans like this one are very important in a parent-kid relationship. It even helps in keeping the kids' trust in their parents. They were ready to hit the snowy road and had even more fun than they just had. Spending time with each other was something both of them weren't able to do for a really long time. They were making their way through the snowy roads very carefully. Out of curiosity, the girl was asking a lot of questions and her dad was answering all of them patiently with a smile on his face. After some time, when the girl started to look outside the window, she suddenly shouted at the top of her voice, "Stop! Stop!" When his daughter shouted and demanded to stop the car, her father assumed it was something new she wanted. He knew to be so demanding wasn't a good thing for his daughter, and he made up his mind that he wouldn't stop or fill any more of her demands. Her father tried to make his daughter understand that there was nothing out there worth pulling over for, but the girl wasn't ready to listen to her dad this time. She wasn't ready to listen to anything until he stopped the car. She started to say, "Stop now," and a fun ride soon changed into an argument. The girl wasn't stubborn at all, but that fine day was different. Her father finally stopped the car but kept the doors locked as it was snowing outside, and the girl seemed eager to hop out. Now her father grew a bit concerned and asked her to tell him what she saw outside. It was after all the troubling time that she gave to her father, the girl finally said something which convinced her father to let her out of the car right away. The girl had only one answer to her father's question: different. According to her, what she just saw out of her window was different. At last, her father unlocked the doors and without any pause, the girl ran out of the car. Her dad ran behind her to see where she was heading and for what. Her father stopped where the girl was waiting for him and pointed in the direction of the trees on the roadside. Was there actually something she noticed, or was she just messing with her dad? As her father stopped and regained his breath, he looked in the direction his daughter was staring, and she wasn't wrong when she asked him to stop the car. There was indeed something strange enough to catch his daughter's eyes. She was neither overreacting nor was she trying to play a prank. The girl and her father walked towards the trees between those lying the reason for their shock. It was white in color but clearly wasn't snow. Well, what else could it have been? Her father asked her to stay right there and he'd go further to check if everything was fine or not. Sadly, they were going to face the most shocking discovery of their lives. As her father assured her that he'll be telling her about what he sees on every step, he took a few steps ahead of her. He turned back to tell her that it was just a box and he was about to check what was inside it. However, the moment he bent down to take a look inside, he understood it wasn't an ordinary box. The moment he realized what was inside, and the man stood there in shock while his daughter ran to hand over his cell phone. His daughter opened the phone's camera and started to take pictures of that moment. They couldn't believe how inhumane some people can be. When they looked inside the white color box, they noticed a small ginger kitten shivering with cold. Just to look at it was enough to say she was severely ill. And this wasn't all. There was more inside that box waiting to be rescued. As the daughter peeped inside, she noticed a second kitten who was smaller than the first one and hiding behind it. They were definitely not going to leave those tiny kitties there to freeze to death. The man and his daughter were well aware that these kittens wouldn't survive another night in the open. By the snow on top of the box, the father-daughter pair guessed it was left there 3-4 hours ago. With the hopes of saving their lives, they decided to rescue them from the cold. Somebody abandoned 2 beautiful kittens near my house. When I peeked in, my heart broke. This kitten is obviously very sick and cold. There are 2 dishes of food with a blanket, but wait, there are 2 cats, said the rescuer on an online platform. There's literally nothing out here. No houses, no traffic. The only reason these cats were found is because my dad was driving by. This is the view from the car. White box plus snow equals barely visible cats, read the message from the young girl. The rescuers were still unable to understand how anyone could be so disheartened. They wanted to report the person who did this to the poor kitties. Their priority now was to take the 2 kittens to a warm and cozy place. What else could be a better place than home? Therefore, the father and daughter picked up the box together without hurting the little ones inside and kept it in the backseat of the car. Due to the cold, the 2 kitties weren't even moving. Sadly, they were extremely skittish, especially of humans. When they reached home, they kept the kittens in front of the furnace. Thanks to the warm temperature inside the house, a couple hours later the kittens moved out of their box. Although it was a good sight, the next news will make everyone emotional. Unfortunately, the cat at the front of the box looks very sick. He's full of poop, smells like urine, and has gunk around his eyes and nose, read the post, which described the miserable condition in which these kittens were initially found. Both the kittens were in a very bad state, and rescuers wanted to give them a hot bath. This might sound like an easy thing, but convincing kittens who are scared of humans is not at all an easy task, but it was necessary to make them feel better. After several efforts, the father and daughter were finally able to gain the kittens' trust and took them for a bath. After giving them the bath and cleaning them with soft towels, the 2 rescuers realized a major issue. So we gave them a bath. We wrapped them up and supplied them with body heat. Already we can see them perking up, was published as a caption of their real-time recovery photos. Giving them a bath was just the start of a long process of bringing them back to a healthy life. When they're wet, you can see how malnourished they are. They're extremely skinny. They don't really seem to know what to do with the tiny bowl of kitten food we put down, read the post. The kittens seemed to get better after the bath, but they weren't fed for several days and were still hungry. The father and daughter found themselves blessed to be able to rescue such adorable kittens. It was for his daughter's request that they finally rescued them and brought them to their warm house and even warmer bed. The rescuers said they're not disposable, despite what the person who abandoned these cats might think. This is the update after our vet visit for the 2 cats. Last night I gave the kitties some food and they devoured it. They updated their online followers about the kitten's health. The sick one started to retain its own heat and perked up a bit. When I woke up this morning, they were both sneezing. We called the vet and got an appointment for 10:20 a.m. According to the post, the kittens were taken to the vet and it read, the vet says the socialization window for a cat is 6 to 9 weeks, and after that they'll start to get skittish and scared of humans. She says it's likely that they've been around humans lately because of how sweet they are. Some people have suggested that maybe the box is a survival box put out for feral cats in the area. The cats were probably abandoned and found the box with the food in it for shelter. Read the post about one of the many suggestions given by many people about what should be done with the kittens. Unfortunately, sick kitty will probably have to get a part of her tail amputated. The vet found a wound and says the end of the tail is cold and limp. We're to keep an eye on it in case it starts to turn black or smell, and it does have a slight stench, in which case it's a trip to the vet, which she says will be discounted 50% off. The post mentioned about the post effects on the kittens because of the miserable incident that took place last winter. This story didn't go viral, but it did win the hearts of everyone who got to know about the father-daughter rescuing these adorable kittens. Both of them speak of the need for people to become more responsible towards their pets and not abandon them. Cats and dogs are homely creatures. They enjoy human company, and it breaks their heart if their owners abandon them. Fortunately, these 2 kittens were too small and quickly recovered from those terrible memories. However, it still left lifetime scars. The 2 kittens are true heroes of their family now. Their rescuers adopted them, and now they live in their forever home playfully. Once again, thanks to their online followers, they got cute names now, which they recently started to recognize. One of the posts said, "People are sharing the post to raise awareness for surprise cat gifting and abandonment, yay! And others are offering to help with the vet bills, which takes away a lot of my anxiety." As a matter of fact, the siblings share an undeniably strong bond. They just can't live without each other. Anytime they're separated, they'll continuously meow until they're reunited. They more or less complete each other, and now their family also keeps them together all the time. One of the kittens is still getting regular medication. The path to recovery is long for it, and the other kitten makes sure to be its sibling's side every time they visit the vet. Their owners call them forever friends. They even asked their followers to suggest some good names for the two kittens. This is Sick Kitty. Perhaps you Reddit or Imgur users can start suggesting names. Sick Kitty isn't a very good one, weighing only 2.9 pounds. This is the healthier cat, weighing in at 3.1. Antibiotics, probiotics, painkillers, and dewormer were prescribed for their woes. They're two male cats, not female as I suspected. In total, it came around to $200, which Reddit helped me pay for. The rescuer shared his experience. The post read, "The kittens have definitely found their home. We've put a lot emotionally into them and couldn't bear to separate them or give them away. My dad says thank you to Reddit and Imgur, and I'm also so thankful for the support Reddit and Imgur has offered to us." The rescuer further asked for help through his post, stating, "If anyone else is interested in donating, you can send to my PayPal email. If there's any money left over after the amputation or vaccinations, it'll be donated to a local no-kill shelter for helping people find a safe place to drop off their unwanted pets." The final post mentioned, "Kitty and Sick Kitty have officially been named Tango and Cash. They're doing fantastic. They've both really bounced back. On January 8th, they're going to the vets, most likely to get the tail off."